Hello and welcome to RevWheels, and today we're driving the segment differentiating Kia Syros. We'll find out what really sets the Syros apart from the competition and from its very own sibling, the Sonnet as well. Well, we're really short on time, so let's get this review quickly started. But before we go ahead, make sure you subscribe to the RevWheels channel so we are encouraged to keep bringing you fresh content like this. Now this is the Kia Syros in the metal in the real world, and let me tell you, it's not beautiful. There's no sexy curves, there's no intimidating SUV looks. The Kia Syros looks unlike anything else. It's boxy, it's nutty, but weirdly still good looking. Now talking about the front, you get this clamshell bonnet and you get this nice piano black strip right below the bonnet. Another highlight of the front is this ice cube LED headlights. The vertically ice cube LED headlights look really cool. Now the grille area, it's minimal. You also get the skid plate there, which is more for looks and not really function. Now talking about the sides, you can really notice the boxy silhouette of the car. What you can also notice are the really large window area. You also get these squared up wheel arches with the plastic cladding, again a very SUV thing, and you get these flush fitting door handles which feel and look very premium. And finally you get large 17-inch wheels which really accentuate the tall stance of the car. Now the rear, it's relatively simple. You still get the stylish star map LED tail lamps, but what I really liked are these L-shaped LEDs which are placed right on the mirror. And finally, rounding it off are the skid plates at the bottom. Now I know looks are subjective and you might or might not agree with me, but do let me know in the comments what you think about the Kia Syros' design. Now the first thing that you notice once you get inside the Syros is this massive screen layout which Kia calls the Trinity Panoramic Display Panel. Trinity because it's got three screens. The first one is your infotainment screen, in the middle you have the screen for the aircon controls, and finally the large instrument cluster. Now talk about the steering wheel, you get a nice two-spoke steering wheel which looks and feels great. Now talking about the seats, you get electrically adjustability for the backrest and for the fore and aft movement, but height adjustability is still to be done manually. Now the seats also get ventilation and they're really comfortable, so long distances shouldn't be an issue. And what we really like is the view. You get a really nice clear view with no blind spots at all. Now this is where the USP of the Syros lies, the rear bench. Hold on, let me just put up the sunshades. Now this is a standard option on all the variants of the Syros. Now talking about the legroom, as you can see I've got plenty of legroom, and this is thanks to the 2550 mm of wheelbase that we get. Headroom again is not an issue at all, but the party piece here is how adjustable the rear bench is. As you can see, I can adjust the rear backrest, and I can also adjust the fore and aft movement of the rear seat. And you get ventilated seats for the rear bench as well. So as a chauffeur driven option, I think this is just fantastic. Now let's talk about the important boot space. So the Kia Syros with all the seats, with the rear seats rather, all the way to the back, it gets about 390 liters of boot space. And when you push this rear bench all the way to the front, you get 465 liters. Even at 390 liters, it's still more than the competition. For example, in a Venue, you get about 350 liters, and in a Kia Sonnet, you get about 385 liters. So again, when it comes to boot space, I think the Syros trumps the competition. On the features front, you get the 30-inch touchscreen infotainment system with the 8-speaker Harman Kardon sound system, panoramic sunroof, ventilated seats on the front and back, air purifier, smart dash cam, wireless charger, and more. On the safety front, you get 6 airbags, rear disc brakes, 360-degree camera, blind view monitor, and more. The Syros also gets level 2 ADAS with 16 autonomous features. The Syros also gets Kia's 2.0 Connect, which means all the latest updates can be downloaded on the go. So not only can Kia resolve software issues remotely, but one can also download firmware, ECU and other updates automatically without having to visit the service center. Now let's talk about the engine and the performance. So you get the same engines that you also get in the Sonnet. So you have a 1 litre turbo petrol with a 7-speed DCT or a 6-speed manual, or what we're driving here, the 1.5 litre diesel, which comes with a 6-speed manual or a 6-speed torque converter. What we're driving is the torque converter with the paddle shifters. Now the numbers remain the same at 114 bhp and 250 Newton meters of torque. But Kia has done minor mapping changes to compensate for the added weight over the Sonnet. You also get 3 drive modes: Eco, Normal and Sport. Kia also claims better NVH in the Syros over the Sonnet, and it shows. The engine feels refined, and while we only manage to drive mostly on the open highways, the Syros comes across as a very good mile muncher. One rarely needs to downshift, and there's enough torque and performance for most situations. The engine does sound a little gruff at higher revs, but settles down quickly. We will put it to the test in real-world conditions once we get the car for a proper road test. Now let's talk about the ride and handling. Now the Syros basically shares the same suspension components as the Sonnet. But the minor difference here is the ride quality or the suspension has been tuned more towards comfort rather than outright sportiness. Driving out of the city, we did hit some bad roads, and the Syros does not exactly feel plush thanks to those large 17-inch wheels. But it's absorbent and does not feel uncomfortable even while handling the bad stuff. The Syros gets 190 mm of ground clearance, which is less compared to the 205 mm you get on the Sonnet, but more than sufficient to clear big speed breakers and the rough stuff. On the handling front, the steering feels good with a weighty feeling, and as a result one does not need to keep correcting it too often. While we did not find corners to check the handling, on the long sweeping corners of the highway the Syros felt completely grounded with no issues at all. Now the Kia Syros, it really breaks convention thanks to its unique design language and its practical and feature-loaded interiors. We think it's ideal for a modern young family who appreciate the technology and the convenience that it offers. Now the Syros, it will be launched on the 1st of Feb, and we expect prices to start at about 10 lakhs for the base model and go up to about 15 lakhs for the top end model. Now this will overlap with the other models, which is the Sonnet and the Seltos. But we think Kia has done enough to differentiate the Syros from the other two models, and at the same time create a little segment of its own. What do you think about the Kia Syros? Do you like it? Do you not like it? What did you like about it in particular? Do let us know in the comments below.